In an attempt to talk about more movies that aren't just the movies coming out week to week, the channel now, I'm going to do my very best to start exploring and reviewing older movies that I have not seen. Last week, the trailer for 28 Years Later came out, and I haven't seen any movie in this franchise. I've heard about them, heard about their influence on zombie movies. I think everybody's seen the poster, that Bloodborne, radioactive, red symbol. We've all seen it. I think everyone just knows about it. But I haven't seen the first movie. And that trailer that came out last week was really intriguing and really well cut together. It was probably one of the better trailers I've seen in recent times. It is so nice to see trailers actually start to show off the movie as a serious thing. So many movies for so many years, and I blame Guardians of the Galaxy. You get a little bit, you get like 30 seconds of here's the characters and then pop song. And then it's always like a throwaway sort of semi-serious, and then you don't know what to take away from trailers nowadays because they never seem like they're taking anything seriously. Long story short, I saw that trailer last week and I was heavily invested. I watched it a few times. I loved it. And it made me go, okay, let's watch these movies. The first movie, 28 Days Later, you can't find it anywhere. It's not on streaming services. Apparently they don't sell physical copies. So I had to Jack Sparrow and I watched it last night. Here are my thoughts. First of all, I think everybody is going to be struck by how the movie looks. This is not a criticism. It looks like shit. The movie looks terrible because whatever camera they filmed on, teenagers back in 2000 could have achieved the same look. But combined with Danny Boyle's direction, the hectic editing, the great acting, the simplicity, the confidence of the story they're telling, all that combined creates this weird atmosphere that totally works for the movie. So yeah, the first thing you're struck by is just how dingy and shitty the movie looks. But as I said, it works. And this is a spoiler review, by the way. The last scene of the movie that takes place 28 days later, after 28 days later, it's shot on film. It looks beautiful at the end. It looks like a real movie. So a part of me is wishing maybe they just did it all with the good camera because, longevity. It would have been nice to watch this movie not in 360p, but whatever. It's a choice, it's a bold choice, and I think it works to add to the atmosphere of the movie. It's also a movie that relies on its actors, and you've got Cillian Murphy, who's fantastic. He has always been a fantastic actor, just sort of a low-key dude. Doesn't really go in for all that Hollywoodness, so maybe he was overlooked for a very long time, but fantastic in the movie. Starts off kind of skittish and ends up a total badass by the end of this movie. Character you love. Naomie Harris, she's also in the movie and she plays just this tough lady that, has lost everything, and she's helping Cillian Murphy because he sort of woke up after the pandemic. It's sort of like The Walking Dead like that. I don't know if one was based off the other, but you can see the influences all through zombie lore and movies and shows. She helps him try to get back to his family. People get lost along the way. Brendan Gleeson is in the movie too, who was a total surprise. But I knew nothing about this movie. Brendan Gleeson turns up, and his character you just kind of really like. And something bad's gonna happen. That's what this movie does. Gives you hope, but shit's gonna go down, and things go down. Brendan Gleeson, the most unlucky dude in the world, gets infected because it's like this rabid rage infection that just makes people go crazy. I don't know if they're zombies per se or just crazy aggressive people. It's kind of blurs that line. Brendan Gleeson dies. And it's kind of like a Last of Us situation where these two characters, Cillian Murphy and Naomie Harris, are sort of just going from place to place, meeting characters as they go. It's very much like The Last of Us, like that, if you've played that game. And then they end up at this military stronghold. It's sort of like a mansion that a couple military dudes have fortified, and they have a radio broadcast saying, come here, we can help you. Little do Killian and Naomi Harris know, they just want to bait women to come there so they can breed them and, I guess, repopulate the planet after the zombies die of starvation. So you sort of get this real disgusting group and you feel dirty and yuck. And then Cillian Murphy fights back and the movie sort of ends with him getting shot, but he gets healed. Then the movie actually ends after that with an epilogue of them getting maybe rescued by the military. Movie's done. It's a very simple, efficient story. Throws you in. It doesn't hold your hand. There's no exposition. It's all character driven. The actors make the movie. Danny Boyle and his cinematography enhance the performances to create this really exciting film. I do have to talk about the writing. It's Alex Garland, who did Civil War this year, which I loved. Ex Machina, Australian. Ex Machina. He's done a lot of great things. I didn't know he wrote this until after and I did my research. A brilliant writer. One of the more underrated writers of our time. And I have to talk about the music. And this is going to go into Superman because the guy that composed this soundtrack is John Murphy. He's doing the James Gunn Superman movie. Now, I've heard this song, right? Listen to this little track. I have heard that forever. It's one of those songs that you hear on epic playlists or it just turns up. It was in this movie. I didn't know that. So at the end, when Cillian Murphy, he's cleaning house, he's taking out these military dudes, and this is playing, badass. You don't need a lot of money, you don't need special effects to make a badass scene. You need good acting and a badass soundtrack. My hype for this Superman movie coming out has actually gone up, knowing that John Murphy is scoring it and that if unleashed, if John Murphy really puts in the work, we could be looking at something significant with that soundtrack. And I don't really have much more to say. This review is sort of just acting as a recommendation. I would recommend watching this movie. I saw actually last night Sony released a trailer for this because it's actually coming to streaming. The day I decide to Jack Sparrow the movie, they decide, hey, it's coming to streaming, I think in a few days. So in a few days, everybody, you can watch this movie because I recommend it. I will be watching the next one 28 weeks later, as soon as I can, and I will be reviewing that too, probably next week. If you like the video, you know what to do. I'll see you next time. Goodbye.